Perfect. All right. Good morning, Raul. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So we're in a new episode of the NextPour.
Yeah,
Today we're gonna cover an important topic: safety,
yeah,
and how AI can be used to help with safety
right, right.
tracking and all those things. So
Yeah.
um, first, let's tell me from your experience, why why safety? What are some of the pain points when it comes to safety? Things like that from your experience.
What are the pain points? So I'll so obviously the I'll let me rephrase this a little bit. Safety. We all know why is safety important, right? It's people's life, right? And so first and foremost, it's people life. And construction, business of construction is very complicated. There's a lot of moving pieces, equipments, the tools, materials. You are constructing a building, so obviously there are a lot of things flying. So first and foremost, you want to keep your people safe. That's a human reason for the safety. And the second is um, your business is not going to thrive if you are not a safe practice, right? Your employees will not choose you if you are not a safe practice business, right? And obviously there's legal ramifications of not being safe enough, and also uh, your bottom line is going to be hurt if your business is not safe enough, right? You might have to incur a lot of fines. The things are not going to be built in the way you want. There will be a lot of lawsuits, and obviously, it's not a good optics. And finally, you don't want unsafe business. So, safety is the paramount like choice. It's not a choice, right? First, you have to be safe, and then you can build profit or building or whatever you want to build. Safety is the foremost thing that you have to ensure on your project.
Mm.
Um, and some of the things that I think why companies like safety is some of this could be the managerial practice, right? Some companies are better than the others. Companies pay a lot of emphasis resources on making the company safe, and some companies focus more on profit, right? That's the reality of this business. The second part is people. So safety is one thing that's drilled down from top to bottom. So the executives who are in charge, the project managers, the engineers, they need to ensure that they drill down the safety practices at the bottom. And also it's a bottom to top. So your workers need to push up safety practices from bottom to up. And there's like a lot of challenges, right? Um, and I can categorize them very easily. It's behavioral issues, right? Some people are going to be more cognizant, right, about safety than other people. Um, some people, there is training, right? So if your workforce is well trained, that means it's going to have better safety record, right? Third is just safety practices, right? You could have behavioral things, you could have well training, but there are also practices that you have to embed in your business so everybody follows those. And I think the final one is engineering measures, right? So whatever you do, if you do not put engineering measures in place, the people are going to make mistakes no matter what happens, right? You could help build behavioral things, you could help build habits, but uh, the final and foremost is the engineering practices. By engineering practices, I mean if somebody is working on electric switch and you have a lock, trip and lock, and if you put at the lock at the main supply panel, and only you have the key, then you know that you're going to be safe. Somebody's not going to come and run the whole supply, turn on the whole supply. So these are the main things. I think behavioral practices, the general companies, environment, work culture, and then engineering things. So yeah, those are the things that plays in the safety.
So safety, super important. It's everyone's job, right? It's not
Yeah,
something. Yes, there might be a CSO or someone in charge of safety on site, but really, safety is everyone's game. Uh,
yeah,
it's not something. And when we talk about safety, the one thing that always comes to my mind is this thing that you hear. I think it's in the Toronto subway and probably in many other places. This idea of if you see something, say something.
yeah,
Like, like, but that starts also with what you said. There's training. So if we're
yeah,
not training people, then they might not know what has to happen. So they might
yeah,
see something, but they don't know it's an incorrect safety
yeah,
procedure, right? So they won't report it. So there's a lot of pieces there. Then is
yeah.
one hand is the
And,
training, and
and you touched on the right one of the right points that I think is training people and creating a safe environment where people can speak up, right? Even encouraging people to speak up on the safety. Like that's the your organization's culture, right? If you get reprimanded, like if you said something which maybe delayed schedule, but it create better safety practice, like so that's also plays a very well
yeah,
important role.
yeah. So yeah, creating a safe culture also involves being safe when talking. Right?
Yes, yes.
Feeling safe when expressing things. So I think there are three things here, I guess. One is the training. Second one is the procedures, like
Hmm.
enabling everything, and then the third one is the execution, right?
Right.
So let's maybe touch on each one of those uh, and see how AI can help in each one.
Hmm.
Let's maybe start with the last one, which is the implementation, because I think that's probably where a lot of people start with, right?
Yeah.
And I think maybe there's where AI right now in its current state can make a bigger difference.
Hmm.
So it's how you make sure safety things are being followed and all that, right? Like that piece, the extra. Once we're on site, how do we check safety?
How do we check safety? Generally, every company has their own rules and regulations and what needs to be safe. You have safety officers on site. Those are whose job is to just make sure the safety is followed. The regular inspection of the things, material, equipment, people, practices. Like that's foremost and most important thing in there is like regular inspection of the things. Um, the thing that becomes important is what you what are you doing with the data that you are collecting by inspecting, right? In this aspect, basically in the world that we live in, data is really important. So if you are inspecting and you're finding that certain subcontractor or certain equipment is um, creating unsafe environment, are you documenting it? Are you collating it? And are you elevating those data points up the project? And are you doing analysis across the project to find out like what is causing unsafe and safe practices, right? You can only build culture or practices if you know what is not working. So uh, every construction project has safety officers and people who are in charge of the safety. That's like a legal requirement. So everybody can follow the safety and those things. Like everybody is wearing PPEs, everybody is following, using uh, right ladders, right? Everybody, when somebody is working on at height, they are following working at a height procedure. So those things are in place, but somebody is in charge and they are collecting data. The the problem with the companies and businesses is those data points they are usually collected in like forms and notes and everything, or sometimes we even have software, but those just sits in office rack space, and like they you submit it on Procourse or owner has it, but nothing gets done around that data, right? So nobody's seeing like the patterns and trying to highlight what's happening. So that's very critical part, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's the documentation piece extremely important, and more in a world where AI is becoming more prevalent in everything, right? Because now AI can be trained. So
Yeah.
I think that data is what can be used for training.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest thing here is cameras, the
Yeah.
camera technology, right? And the fact that now the safety officer doesn't have to do only paper reports. They could
Yeah.
use their phone cameras to document things, right? Take a video, take a photo, uh,
Yeah.
even use some of the hard hat cameras to document some of these things.
Yeah.
But now you're generating data
Yeah.
you can use for training because yeah, today you saw something not in the right place or whatever, right? But you can tell people stop doing that. That doesn't mean they're going to stop because maybe someone new comes in and they're not aware or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So how next time can you figure those things faster without having to do the whole report again, right? So if you have one or a couple of examples of this is something that shouldn't be happening, then next time you're recording video, the AI will be able to pick those things from the video, right? And
Yeah.
even things you might miss as a human, because it's farther from you or whatever, the AI might be able to analyze those things directly from the video, right? But it has to be trained because the video doesn't, or the AI doesn't really know what's a safety issue.
Yeah.
So the documentation of safety. And so one, we already mentioned cameras analyzing video feed, right?
Yeah.
That's one side of simplifying things with AI, where we can just give the video to the AI and have it find safety incidents.
Yeah.
But the other is the reporting part, right?
Yeah.
Writing those documents. That's something that normally people don't like doing, writing
Mm.
reports. Some
Yeah.
people have to do it because of that's their job, fine. But AI can simplify that process. So
Yeah.
now the safety inspector just takes a photo, records a video, and gives voice notes to an AI. The AI
Yeah.
writes a complete report with all
Yeah.
that. Right? So while the guys are walking on site, they can just do a simple video sent to the AI, and when they're back in the office, everything they saw it's already in a report.
Yeah.
Right? So no longer need to go back and write a report once you're in front of a computer because you might get distracted in the way back to the office. There are other things that are happening, and then suddenly you have not written the report because there was no time, right?
Yeah.
But you can use AI to write the report as you're walking and reporting things, so you don't need to wait till you're back to write the report, right?
Yeah.
That's a way to.
Yeah. And then I think we have like very powerful example in medical industries. Like now the AIs have completely taken over, like doctors writing report, and they when they're going to the patients, they are just collecting like some voice notes and around that, and then the models are trained on how the doctors are talking to the patient, and they do the reporting, right? um, we have in construction, same thing is happening. People are working on the side, they can just take voice notes or video feed, put the something in the video feed, take some pictures, and then boom, done, your videos are in the system. Because really the important thing is not the form. Important thing is the data, right? Important thing is to know what happened. What was the root cause of it? Who was the responsible person? What can you do better in the next time, and how you can remove that kind of unsafe practice from your company? And so the form is just the mechanism, the way of structuring those things. But that structuring part you can offload to AI now, right? You don't have to like structure that information. You just focus. People can focus on collecting more data around it: photos, videos, audios, user interviews, right? All those things can be done very in a natural way. And then AI is just a silent observer, and it's writing your reports and it's writing your paperwork, and then you're doing better work, right?
Yeah, yeah. So helping the safety officers document, but then this expands also to not just the safety inspectors, right? Because everyone could now just report something in the same way,
Yeah,
do a video, a photo, voice note saying, "Hey, I'm seeing this thing,"
yeah,
and send it. It will get put into a report. It will flag someone, right? So it just simplifies for anyone on site to report things because they just need to send a video,
yeah,
and the video already has the images, has the audio, right? So it has everything it's needed,
yeah,
uh, and it could be like 30 seconds video. So
yeah,
not a lot of effort.
yeah. And this is like, yeah, AI could be eyes for everybody, but it could also play a big role in training. So if you're on the side, and not just like training before you're starting the project, like if you're on the side and you're unsure, like how should I work on this later, you ask AI that's trained on this system and your project safety, and she'll tell you or he'll tell you like, hey, these are the procedures that need to be followed, right? The second aspect of it is, if you're seeing something and you're not sure, right? Sometimes we are not sure, like if that's safe or unsafe, then you can, and then people have a lot of restrictions around their behavior, like when they are not so sure. They don't want to call out people, or they don't want to complain, or they don't want to go higher up, right? Um, but something in their mind is tickling, hey, maybe that's not right. They can use AI at that point. They can ask AI, hey, this guy is digging the trench. They haven't set up like the panels around it. There's no strut in between. Is it good? Should the strut be even stronger? Is ground going to collapse? And so those things, right? The AI can tell you immediately, hey, this is the thing. You should call your safety supervisor, bring him here. He should inspect it or do something, right? So
Yeah,
it could be multifaceted thing, and it doesn't have to be a passive thing where you record everything, but it could be very proactive measure in your company that you can take to make everybody's life very safe, right?
yeah. That's a very interesting angle you took there. I've never really thought about that one, but it's true, right? Sometimes the safety officer is busy and can't review something. Sometimes you don't have a safety officer for every site. So in that case, how can you turn everyone into kind of like a safety inspector, let's say,
Yeah,
right? So they can just check with AI to see if something is not compliant
yeah,
or is compliant, and then move on, right?
yeah,
So that's a really interesting use case that you
yeah,
mentioned. I see that one becoming really interesting in the near future when smart glasses become a real thing, right? Because
yeah,
now everyone on site is going to have a camera in their safety glasses.
yeah,
So the the system will automatically be able to be analyzing those things
yeah,
and providing real-time feedback into what's
yeah,
happening.
yeah.
So that's going to become really powerful, I think, once the technology is there in the next.
Yeah, I think it's like everybody will get four eyes, right?
Yeah,
No, no pun intended there, but yeah, will get four eyes, and then they'll be able to see more and do more, right? And then AI could be the passive thing that's analyzing your video feed or your images, and or you can even trigger it saying, "Hey, is this look good?" And right,
yeah,
and they should be able to do more. Yeah, that
yeah,
would be good.
yeah. Because the real thing with safety is prevention, right? Like
Yeah,
there are things that are going to happen that we're not in like consider or like things weird things happen, sure,
yeah,
but prevention is the main thing, and you need to be able to prevent, and the main thing is training, right? But then this technology helps with with prevention or catching things before they become something big.
Yeah, and like it's definitely it's the idea is more. What else can you see that your eyes is not catching up, right? If you have a camera at high, you have a uh, the crane that's like lifting some kind of like a H beam or whatever, and if you have people on the side, that's like they're not aware like there's an H beam going on their head, right? And you'll be surprised, like the one of the biggest factor in construction safety is things falling from height. Right? The people are working at the below and they're not aware like something is falling or something has potential to fall. Then the camera that's on the top that can pick those things, right? Because your eyes gonna see in some direction, and you can build really interesting use cases around those flagging things, right? Notifying people, hey, move from there, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, you could have like uh, I think we already have like tags on hard hat and something, so cameras can identify who's in the vicinity of what thing, and then they can trigger messages or call and to notify them, hey, you shouldn't be there. It's not safe. Right?
yeah. So flagging the camera, knowing something is happening, and then by also seeing who is moving, who might be approaching the risky area, just really sending a message, hey, stop,
Yeah.
don't continue. Interesting, really cool. And the other, I was reading a safety report from a construction site, and someone was doing something on top of a ladder, and they hit their head.
Hmm.
And probably they were not aware something was there or whatever, right? So you could also combine these things with BIM, because the BIM model might know exactly where everything is. So
Right.
it could inform someone, hey, the room you're gonna be working in has these things, right? You need to be aware of these things because
Yeah.
you're
And
gonna
I
have.
think the easiest implementation of those things, I think, is in your work safety document and stuff. Like it could, because it can look at the data from your project, it can tell you like this is going to be, even before you go on the site, like this is going to be high risk area in this regards, right? Your ground is nobody's going to read like how your ground is going to be, right, when you're working. So it's the ground is clay, it has more K value, whatever, right? And so it has potential for being more unsafe, right?
Mhm.
Those things it can highlight very well, right?
So you're gonna have a customized toolbox talk for everyone in the morning,
Yeah,
right?
customized toolbox talk. That's a really good example, right? For that day, right?
Yeah.
It can look at the weather. It can tell you today is gonna be really hot. We do that, right? Already, some the supervisor is gonna look at the temperature, but it's gonna say to it can really customize it. If you today is very windy, you're gonna do some gas welding. Be careful. You have to shield yourself from the wind. Otherwise, you could blow yourself out, right? Things like that, right? And if if like it's mentioned one time and it's in front of you, you are uh, you're gonna be more careful, right? It's the things that supervisor is not probably not gonna pick up, but everybody is very experienced. But like certain those nuances, those details, right? It's gonna be windy. You're doing gas welding today. Just be careful today. Like things like that could make huge difference,
Yeah.
right?
And
Have you carried extra? You're walking from, you're studying from home. You should carry more bottles of water today, or you should find like take more electrolyte, right? For example, yeah, it's gonna be very hot, right?
yeah, yeah. So super customized, and it will also make everything more efficient because now instead of everyone having to be on the talk with all the trades, right? They can just have a 5 minute custom present or custom thing for them, right?
Yeah,
And off you go. But also, as the day goes on, conditions change.
yeah,
So this same concept comes into play at that point, right? Hey, you know what? We're seeing a lot of rain might be coming soon.
yeah,
So just get ready, right?
Yeah, I've seen like people working in the shaft, and then thunderstorm comes and they cannot move and they cannot do anything. But nobody knows about those things right now. It's becoming very unpredictable. So like people are in the shaft working, and then thunderstorm come and they are stuck there for 4 hours, like can't escape. The crane cannot work, and then the elevator is not working, and so you're stuck there. Like things like that, small things like that could
yeah,
make huge difference, right?
yeah, yeah. That's super cool. Now let's talk about training, right? So we talk about on-site preparation, like tracking things, a little bit of before you start working. How can the AI help
Yeah,
communicate safety things? But now when we're training people, how can
yeah,
we be more efficient?
yeah. And I think you are the best person to answer that kind of question, because what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is the video AI is eating everybody's lunch, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so, and you've been experimenting with those things, so maybe you have some insights there, like
Yeah,
how we
yeah,
can.
that's exactly where my head was going to, right? Because right now there might be some situations that it's hard to show to someone,
Hmm.
right? Because it will put someone at risk, or how do you hire a someone to just fake a fall from a three-story high thing, right, or
Yeah,
whatever. Uh, but now with AI video and image generators, you can ask the AI to generate a video for a super specific safety situation, right? And
yeah,
it will do that. So now when you're training people, you have a video to show them like, hey, this could happen in this and this way, right?
yeah,
So that becomes really powerful, and I think the evolution of that, and we're not seeing that yet, but it's virtual reality, right?
yeah,
So have people experience a situation in
yeah,
virtual reality, so next time they know
yeah,
it, right? So that's still a little bit far, but companies are already using virtual reality for certain type of training.
yeah.
So why not use it in construction?
Yeah, and I remember like maybe it was Norway. I'm not super clear on the which country it was, and they did this ad campaign where you had some ad poster on the side, the video, and then you can show your face, and it will morph your way in morph your photo on the driver, and the driver starts speeding, and then it get crashed, and people are suddenly shocked, like, oh, because it's your face, and then you're speeding, and like so, like this personal touch, it creates like lot and lot of impact. And AI, again, like the super personalization thing, right? You can show people's face, you can show their bodies, and you can create different kind of content for those people. Like if somebody uh, is struggling with their back pain, and those things, right? So you can really customize the content that people are seeing based on who they are, how they look, and then how their body type is, because
Yeah,
all these things affect.
yeah, yeah, definitely, and yeah, that customization now it's possible. I was watching a YouTube video about this AI video
Mm.
makers, and Runway launched a new version of the product, and it's impressive. Like you can change and preserve many things in a video.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen it. There's this video going on right now where they took one of the fight scenes from Matrix
Mm.
and they move it from the dojo where the guys
Mm.
are fighting to inside a pool, right, in
Mm.
underwater. So the movements are the same, but now they're inside a pool
Mm.
fighting. So it's
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. So you can definitely now change to
Yeah.
someone's face, so they feel that it's them
Yeah.
for that. So super cool. So I
You
think
should do like a long teaching session on how to use video for marketing and how to use video for safety, creating content for the safety, and I think people can join and learn. I think a lot of people will be interested in that kind of video thingy.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So anyone listening to this episode, if you're interested in something like that, just comment or send us a note, and definitely we could do that. Cool. So we're on time here. So
Yeah.
takeaways is
Other thing that I want to talk about and we didn't talk, and maybe we can do one other episode around that is, say we talk mostly about the video feed, but like the AI is also working in like different kind of equipment. We have ladders now that are equipped with different sensor, so you can detect like somebody is like on the height and he's trying to jump instead of going down and come back. So you could like detect a lot of patterns of unsafe behavior
yeah
by those, and we have like lots of different equipments and lots of other systems, not just the camera, but we can talk about those in the next one.
yeah that's a good point, right? Because what if, like, on the iPhones, we've seen that it has that fall detection, right? If that's a sudden movement, it detects that someone maybe have fall, and it allows you to trigger an alert to 911 and things like that. But that's right. You could maybe have someone who's working uh, on the 10th floor doing something outside, and suddenly the heart rate starts going up, right? So that
Yeah,
person might be getting a fear attack or something, right? So responding to those things real
yeah,
time, really, really important.
yeah,
So definitely that's another thing, how we can start tracking. And the problem with all this is a privacy nightmare. So
yeah,
there's a thin line between surveillance and
yeah,
and using it for the better, right? And
yeah,
people sometimes are triggered by, oh no, I don't want cameras because you're gonna be recording my face, you're gonna record me doing this and this and this thing. So
yeah,
anything that's on my phone, anything that's like wearable, like it's a
yeah,
complicated thing. But I think if we can show people that this is in your best interest, this is gonna help you
yeah.
something.
And
But
now, I mean, every job site have cameras now. Like that's like not even like optional. So every job site has camera. It's tracking. Also, like on privacy thing, we have new kind of AI that's coming in, which is not tracking your face, but like on the side it's just tracking like how you are moving, how your body's posture is. So it's not tracking you. It cannot be used outside the job perimeter to identify you. So that the thing, solutions are evolving. It's not that far, but solutions are evolving that will help you. As soon as you set in the that boundary, now you are identifiable within that boundary, but that same data you cannot use outside to identify you because it's a different kind of AI. So
yeah,
solutions, people are building solution towards that, and hopefully will reach there soon. Yeah,
yeah, no, definitely. Because also with the whole weather changing, uh,
yeah,
stronger storms, more heat, uh, all those
yeah,
things are just affecting
yeah.
work more and more. So
Yeah, and the weather patterns are getting super localized. Like here in Toronto, in one area it could be like raining, and that it is like super sunshine within like few kilometers of differences. So weather patterns are becoming extreme, but very localized too. And so you cannot like take the weather reports that's on the news and try to figure. And so people are also working towards like very localized and very specific geographical weather pattern prediction systems to say, yeah.
yeah, yeah, cool. So I guess just some of the learnings: using AI for documentation, right? Simplifying the documentation of the reporting of safety issues using
Yeah,
AI.
and if anybody is interested in that, reach out to us. We have a lot of solution in mind for
Yeah,
that. Already working. Yeah,
yeah, cameras, definitely start using it, and make sure you can start analyzing the video feeds to help your teams. So there's a lot, and many more things are coming in the coming in the coming years. Uh, so yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, man.
all right.
It's nice chatting with you. See you next week.
See you next week. Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.